Before I get started, I also made a Best of Funko 2022 video with all kinds of categories and also a top 10. So if you like this one, but you also want to see some of the good stuff that Funko makes, go check that out, it's on my channel. But this one is going to focus on some of the garbage that they put out. And really quickly, before I get into the top 10 worst Funko Pops of 2022, I want to mention the Cell Second Form Funko Pop, which I don't consider bad. It's actually surprisingly accurate and well made, but man, is it hilarious looking. Like, he looks like he's wearing a very skimpy orange bikini. He has a very bizarre mouth, and he also looks like he's wearing some little house slippers. But the funniest part is that bizarre condom tail with a little reservoir tip that's flesh colored. It's just one of the most bizarre looking pops I've ever seen. But it's not Funko's fault, right? That's the character. And honestly, I think people that aren't familiar with anime go, oh, you know, all my friends are watching anime, let me go check it out. And then they see stuff like this and they immediately check out. It's just a very weird character design. But I don't consider it bad or anything. I just wanted to mention that. All right, let's go on the top 10, starting at number 10. The Star Wars Snowman. Now, I know there's a lot of collectors that love holiday pops. And they do make a nice display with all your other holiday decorations because they do kind of look like ornaments. And of course, like anything on this list, you don't have to buy it. In fact, that's the best way to let Funko know that you don't like something, right? Is to not buy it. And like I said earlier, these are nice for people that like to collect holiday things. And they do look different than the other holiday Funko Pops that are out there. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but whenever I see these, they look like cat turds in a litter box or in the snow. They're just very ugly to me, especially Darth Vader. I think he's the ugliest one. And even the carrots are all kinds of crazy sizes. Like the carrots on Boba Fett would be like 3 feet long and then normal sized on some of them and then super tiny on the other ones. There isn't any consistency. To me, they're just ugly. The Tinkerbell Chase. I actually like this pop. I own the common, and that's fine because there's hardly any difference between the common and the chase. Terrible chases aren't anything new for Funko. Every year there's several lazy chases, but this has got to be one of the worst ones ever because look at it. There's hardly a difference. It's got a little bit of color to the face, the chase does. But if it didn't have a chase sticker, I wouldn't have noticed. Honestly, this chase maybe should have had a red glow-in-the-dark feature, or maybe just make the chase the common. Not a bad pop, just a very terrible execution on the chase. The GameStop exclusive Clicker and Funko Shop exclusive Clicker. It's the exact same pop. And it's not like the other ones where it's a Walgreens exclusive or Hot Topic or wherever, and then they put it on the Funko Shop because either their stores canceled orders or they didn't sell enough or for whatever reason, and they're on the Funko Shop as well. The Funko Shop exclusive Clicker was actually announced and released like if it were one of these big Funko drops. But it's the same pop. And at first people thought this was just a re-release of a previous pop that had yet an even different sticker from GameStop. But if you look closely, the bodies are a bit different, but still so similar where I can see why people think it's the exact same pop. Things like this just make you feel like the word exclusivity is losing all meaning when it comes to Funko Pops, because exclusivity means you should only be able to buy it in one place. And it just doesn't seem to be the case with Funko anymore. And that's why I put this on the list. Never mind the fact that it looks like a botched labiaplasty. It's more about the word exclusivity losing its meaning. The eBay baseball player. What does baseball have to do with eBay? I don't know. I mean, maybe you can buy baseball cards on eBay, but really, I just don't get it. I mean, honestly, if they're going to make an eBay pop, it should be a guy with like a shopping cart with 20 of the same Funko Pop in it. Or maybe like a moment where it's one guy buying a Funko Pop and then his family, you know, behind him, all buying the same Funko Pop, like an eBay moment. Or maybe it could have been like a VCR or a computer or something, like they did with the Polaroid camera. Because eBay at one point, that's kind of what it was, Electronics Bay. That would have made more sense, but this just doesn't. It's weird. But I did kind of find it funny that it sold out and it immediately was relisted on eBay by resellers at $100. the Ghost Opus Eponymous album. Now, I really like that Funko is making Ghost Pops, and that they've continued to make Ghost Pops. I love when they do less mainstream things like this, and they've all been pretty good. But look at how stretched out the face looks. And maybe it wouldn't have been so bad if it was just the exact same pop in a regular pop box with the cathedral artwork in an insert in the back and glow in the dark. Glow in the dark would have been nice. All the blue glow in the dark and the white being the contrast. But when you put it in this big album and you put the actual artwork behind it, it just looks like somebody whose passion is graphic design stretched the hell out of that artwork. It looks terrible to me. And I really don't think that the pop eyes should be sculpted if it's going to have this kind of paint job. It looks like something Funko would have done in like 2014 when they were less creative with the sculpts. The Vecna Pop from Stranger Things. You'd think that Funko would have known how popular Stranger Things was going to be because this is season 4 now. And they've made a lot of Stranger Things pops, so it means that they sell. And to have this be what they put out for the main villain in season 4 is ridiculous. This looks like a shaved Ewok. It just doesn't look like the character from the show. And the way they did the nose looks weird. Well, lack of nose. I feel like they could have done that way better. The color on the actual reddish gore parts looks fine. It's just that the sculpt does not look very accurate. And neither do those beige patches. And honestly, it kind of looks like it's doing that gesture that boys do in middle school to simulate cunnilingus. The Ariel with the stone Eric statue. The sculpt is great. I like the way they incorporated the sand, the water, Ariel's pose. She came out really great. And so did Eric. But just like the Ariel moment where she's finding her voice, where they gave her that ridiculous looking mouth, they decided to paint eyebrows on the statue. And it completely throws me off from the entire piece. That's all I can focus on. And it looks bad enough on the glam, but look at how it looks like on the actual pop. Why did they do that? They should have just left that off, and it would be fine. And before you say, well, statues have eyebrows. Yeah, they have hair too, but they didn't paint his hair, because that would have looked stupid. That one little choice to paint the eyebrows completely ruins what otherwise would be a really nice pop. And to top it all off, they must have made way too many, or people are as thrown off by the eyebrows as me, because now Box Lunch is liquidating this one. Every year, Funko makes pointless, lazy exclusives, like this Atrociraptor. This is the exclusive on the left, and this is the common on the right. Totally pointless. I couldn't even tell what the difference was until I saw them side by side, because when I looked at them separately, my brain would forget what the difference was. Totally pointless. But it's not the most pointless one. I think the most pointless one, the most egregious one, is the Target exclusive Tanjiro Poppin' Tee. The t-shirt, I don't know, I would never wear that. I don't think it's a great design, but it's fine. It's not really what makes this pop terrible. It's the pop. The body is just the common Tanjiro body. And the head is just the head from the Tanjiro with the flaming sword. And the only difference is it has a couple of nicks and scratches on it. Super weak. Not to mention that there's another Target exclusive with the common pop in it just bundled in a 2-pack. Just another pointless exclusive. But I really dislike when Funko just does a head swap and calls it an exclusive. Not sure that this one is better than the common, and it's definitely not better than the one with the flaming sword. So to me, it's totally pointless. Sometimes the diamond glitter variants really work, depending on the character. But not for Star Wars. These look atrocious. They even glittered Grogu's eyeballs. It doesn't make sense. R2-D2 looks really ugly glittered up like that. These don't look like official releases. They look like customs. Not even good customs. And of course, they're limited exclusives because if these were regular releases, I think they would be warming the shelves. I think the only reason people wanted that Grogu is because it's 5,000 pieces. But is this a well-executed exclusive? No, it's ugly and lazy. Can you imagine learning about NFTs? All the stupid hoops you have to jump through to buy these Funko NFTs. Seeing this glam of Leonardo with this really cool thermal or oil slick paint job. And you're like, wow, that looks really cool. That would look great in my collection. So you deposit your money and spend a few $100s maybe more, to try to get this guy. And you get it, and you're all excited, and then you wait 6 months, or however long this took to be released. And then you get this. That is one of the worst, most terrible paint jobs I've ever seen. I've seen better paint jobs on flea market piggy banks than this. This looks like the homework assignment was to repaint a Funko Pop, and this guy waited till the night before to turn this in. Garbage. And speaking of garbage, it's not like these kind of paint jobs or these kind of effects can't be done on a cheaper collectible. Look at this oil slick dumpster fire. Look how good that looks. You're telling me Funko can't do this? And it doesn't have to be chrome like the dumpster fire, or I believe that's chrome. And it can be done with these colors that Funko are showing here, painted on vinyl. I mean, they make nail polish that has this same effect. I just don't know what Funko was thinking when they put this out. It looks unfinished and like just a very terrible custom. I'm not trying to dog on makers of custom Funko Pops. They're actually very talented. This looks like somebody's first effort with their brand new airbrush that they bought. There are much better ways to create this effect than this. I think what makes it so bad is how disappointing this would be to receive after spending all that money and waiting all that time and receiving this. It would just feel like a huge kick in the nuts. Alright guys, that's what I consider the worst of Funko for 2022. Of course, it's just my opinion, and you can let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And I'm not judging any of you if you own these. I myself own the Tinkerbell. Alright, thanks for watching, and have a happy new year.